guys, I wanted to take a few minutes tonight and explain to you a couple of the things that are due in the next couple of days since I'm going to be gone for a few days. I wanted to make sure that everybody was pretty clear. So I want to start with the lab. So if you take a look at this worksheet, which is the one that you were supposed to fill out in class today, specifically I want to be talking about this bottom table. You should have already done your drawings on here, and if you were absent, the makeup day is on Wednesday after school. So you should have already done your drawings with your blue and your purple lines. Remember that the green, if you had green, you shouldn't record anything like that because that is just the loading die, so you didn't need to draw that at all. So the bottom data table, this part here where it's talking about the different test tubes, I just want to go over all of that. So the first row is just what the test tubes are. The second row is all of the people in the family. So we have the mother, the father, Daniel, Alice, Michael, and then the fetus. You need to tell me if the fetus is a male or female. In order to determine that, you have to match up your bands. Remember, that was the whole point, matching up the bands to see what the kids have. Okay. So the next row where it says that the mom here, so we're looking here, where it says that the mom is a carrier, and then John is healthy, and so on. You need to fill it in what it is for the rest. For the last two, the number of dystrophin genes present. We talked about that in class today, but just as a review, remember that it's a sex-linked disorder, so you need to determine how many of the genes the females have and how many of the genes the males have, and then that answer will be the same for all of them. And then the genotype, since it's a sex-linked disorder, if you don't remember how to do that, look back on your sex-linked notes and your sex-linked practice problems and figure out what you should be writing down for them. Okay, again, the whole point is, can you interpret the data that your electrophoresis left you? Can you figure out what those bands mean and who has it and who's healthy and who's a carrier? Okay, so if you take a look at your rubric that I gave you, there's a couple things that you need to make sure that you do. Don't forget that you need to type your paper. You need to have an introduction. The data table that you're going to attach, this is the data from the lab, and then this is your analysis of the data. So that's already you don't have to type any of this. You can fill this all in. You need to type a conclusion, and then on the back of here are the questions. I don't care if you retype the questions and type the answers, or if you just answer them here. If you answer them on here, please make sure that it is very neat and that it's written in complete sentences. Think about any errors that you had. I know that some of you didn't get very clear bands, so make sure that you're pretty clear about that. And I think that's it for the lab. If you have any other questions, let me know. Either text me or send me an email, and I'll help you with that. That is due on Monday, so make sure that you have it printed off and that you have your lab sheet turned in and your rubric. All three papers need to be turned in. Okay? Now back to the, now I would like to talk about the project that you are working on. So some of you are working with a partner, some of you decided to do it on your own. In either case, these directions apply to you. So the first part you've already taken care of. Again, if you were absent, I left the list with the sub, so you can put your name on whichever disorder you would like to do, or if you're joining somebody that's working by themselves, just add your name next to that. And remember that you're not limited to the disorders that are on this list, but it just has to be a genetic disorder. So here's your list that you've already chosen. So now that you've chosen your topic, here's the second thing that you need to do. You have to research your disorder. You have all of these questions to answer, excuse me, including how the disease was discovered, how it is inherited, use a diagram to demonstrate. So if it is autosomal dominant or if it's sex-linked, you can do Punnett squares. If it is non-disjunction, you can show me sperm and egg separating incorrectly, but you need to use a diagram in that part. The physiology of the disease. So what's the connection to DNA? Where's the mutation? Is there a mutation? What is it? What's not working correctly? So basically, what's happening biologically? And then what are the symptoms of the disorder, treatments of the disorder, effects that the disease has on the individual, additional medical assistance that the patient needs, Are there different ages at which different treatments are appropriate? Are there prenatal tests for diagnosis? Do people get tested for this on a regular basis, or is it very rare? Where in the world is it the most prevalent? And if there's any reason for that distribution, you can explain it. Like there's a couple disorders where it gives them an advantage to have that disorder. And that's kind of in this last one, the benefits that they have. And some of them there will be, some of them there will not be. And then what is some of the new research that's being done, and what's the hope for the future with that research? What are they trying to do with that? Okay, then your presentation. So you're going to create a presentation. Remember that the rules are that it may not be a poster or a PowerPoint or a Google presentation. It needs to be something a little bit more creative. So you can do a YouTube video. So I think most of you know how to do that. Videotape yourself and then upload it to YouTube. If you can't figure out how to upload it to YouTube, as long as you have something where I can connect your camera or whatever you bring in to my computer so that we can at least play it, that's fine. A web page, if you want to use that PV Work site that we used at the beginning of the year when you did your human impact projects and you had to make a wiki page, you could use that site to do that. Because you already have experience with that, you just won't have the huge list at the beginning, so you can play around with that. The next idea that I had was that you could do a museum display, and for the museum display, that would be something like you could do a trifold poster board so that you have 3 sides on it, but then you need to bring in something else. So museum displays are not just posters, they also have objects, so something that the patient uses on a daily basis or some result of the patient, whatever, some sort of prop to go along with it, or more than one would be better. Photo story is the one exception that I will allow you to do a Google presentation on. And for the photo story, basically you're telling the story of all of these answers to these questions with photos. So some sort of pictures, diagrams. It doesn't have to be pictures that you actually take of the people. It can be pictures that you find online. But the only words that are allowed to be on your project are the ones that are on the title page and then with your name. That's all that there can be. All the rest has to be pictures, and then you'll explain the pictures when you give your presentation. And then the last idea that I have listed here for you is a Prezi. So what you're going to do if you want to do a Prezi, if you don't know what it is that it's just Prezi.com, Prez.com. And then you can just set up for an account, it's free. And then you pick whatever you want to do. So if you will click on New Prezi, and then it will load some choices. Maybe it will load. There we go. So you have all of these different templates that you can choose from. So you just choose the one that interests you the most for whatever topic that you're doing. So you would just pick one, and then once you pick it, I'm just going to pick this one for right now. Over here is kind of your editing and where you can put things. So you'll click on the box and you'll put your names, and then you can click on the other box and you can put your genetic disorder or however you want to do it. It doesn't matter. So that is that path, and then you can click onto this slide, and then you can click up here. You can put your names in your genetic disorder up here if you want. And then you can click onto this one, and so now you're going off to this side, and you can click symptoms, and so on. So that's how you do that, and then when you present it, it works much better. A little bit more interactive and a little bit more fun than just a typical old PowerPoint. So those are some of the ideas that I came up with. You're not bound to do any of those. The only guideline is that it cannot be a Google presentation or a poster. So use your creativity, do something fun, have fun with it, learn a lot. I hope that you learn a lot about this disorder. Remember that you do have plenty of time in class to get a lot of the work done, but I will expect that you have to do some of it outside of class as well. Presentations start next Friday, so make sure that you have yours done and that you are ready to go. If you have any questions about your project, again, either email me or send me a text, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, have fun and be good in class for the next 4 days. Okay, bye.